Hello, Jordan Burris here. Would you like to hear a song? Today's song was the lead single off the debut album of one of the most enigmatic singer-songwriters in popular music history. But before we get to the song, here's a brief bit of history about the song and the songwriter, Tom Waits. On March 6, 1973, singer-songwriter Tom Waits' debut album, Closing Time, was released on Asylum Records. The album was a mild success in the United States and abroad, but critics were quite warm to the work. Rolling Stone's Stephen Holden described Waits as a boozier Randy Newman, stating that, like Newman, Waits, quote, delights in rummaging through the attic of nostalgia. Tom Waits' career had been jump-started a year earlier in 1972, when Asylum Records co-founder David Geffen had been in attendance for one of his performances at the lauded Los Angeles, California club, the Troubadour. Geffen was so taken with the performance that he immediately started negotiations with Waits' management, and within a month, he was signed to Asylum Records. Jerry Yester, folk rock icon and one-time member of Lovin' Spoonful, was designated to be the producer for Tom Waits' debut album. Although this was Tom Waits' first professional recording opportunity, he was very vocal about the material and the instrumentation for his album. He demanded a stand-up bass player and a trumpeter to accentuate the jazz undertones of his compositions. This became a point of contention between Waits and Yester, as Yester saw the album in a more folk-laden, Dylan-esque atmosphere. The album was recorded at Sunset Sound and United Western Recorders over the course of 10 days. 1 month prior to the album, the single Vol. 55 was released. In the song, our main character is seen climbing into his automobile at the break of dawn before driving away from what is believed to be his lover's house. He heads down the freeway with cars and trucks, feeling a pang of regret for not staying longer with the one that he left behind. The song was undoubtedly chosen as the single given its more conventional pop sound and broad appeal. 1 year later, Tom Waits' Asylum record label mates, the Eagles, were recording material for their forthcoming album On the Border, and included Vol. 55 in the sessions. On the Border would include the Eagles' first #1 hit, Best of My Love. The B-side to Best of My Love was Tom Waits' Vol. 55, and the proximity to a #1 hit brought the songwriter much notoriety. However, in a somewhat famously contrarian fashion, Waits dismissed the Eagles' version of his song, saying this, quote, "It's one of the first songs I wrote, so it felt flattering to have somebody want to do it. At the same time, I felt their version was a bit antiseptic." Waits lacked the appreciation for the slick production and clean stacked harmonies that the group delivered to his song. In contrast, Waits' version begins dark and sleepily, mirroring the time of day in which the song occurs, before finally erupting both narratively and sonically as our character hits the freeway as the, quote, sun's coming up. Although one would think that the financial and professional windfall Waits would experience would soften his feelings of the Eagles' treatment of his song, yes? No. 1 year after the release of the Eagles' version of Vol. 55, Tom Waits doubled down on his disdain, saying this, quote, "I don't like the Eagles," adding, quote, "They're about as exciting as watching paint dry," before concluding that, quote, "Their albums are good for keeping the dust off of your turntable, and that's about all." Journalist Tom Taylor of Far Out magazine pushed back on Waits' blatant disregard and lack of appreciation, saying this, quote, "Two of the Eagles' albums sit on the top 10 best-selling records of all time list, and their antiseptic ways have contributed to countless hours of AM radio." However, Waits' crooked storytelling and songs that stagger toward Tin Pan Alley on a broken heel struggled to fetch any amount of sales. Following the initial commercial flop of his first few records, we might have the Eagles to thank for ensuring that he could still pursue a musical career. But I guess that's just the way things go. End quote. Others find, if nothing else, humor in Waits' aggressive honesty and commitment to his craft and to his character. 1 part singer-songwriter, 1 part vaudevillian performer, Tom Waits is now 73 years old. I hope you enjoyed that brief bit of history about Vol. 55, written by the great Tom Waits. Well, my time went so quickly, I went lickety-splickety out to my old 55. I pulled away slowly, feeling so holy, God knows I was feeling alive. Now the sun's coming up, I'm riding with Lady Love. beginning to fade, and I need the parade, just wishing I'd stayed a little longer. Lord knows the feeling's getting stronger. Well, 6 in the morning came without warning. I had to be on my way. The trucks are passing me, lights are flashing. I'm on my way home from your place. Now the sun's coming up, riding with lady love. Freeway cars and trucks, stars beginning to fade, and I need the parade, just wishing I'd stayed a little longer. Lord knows that the feeling's getting stronger. My time went so quickly, I went lickety-splickly out to my old 55. Pulled away slowly, feeling so holy. God knows I was feeling alive.